Is by Murali Chirala, CEO and founder of FalconX, and entrepreneur coming to AP, and next is about startups. So he's a startup accelerator from USA. Welcome, sir. Please give him a big round of applause.
There's a panel after my quick talk, so I'm not standing between you and lunch, but I'll try to make sure that I go through this quick assembling of data that I put together on the topic about India's progress to $8 trillion and what startups do to catalyze that activity. I created a small presentation. Would I be able to get a clicker to go through it very quickly, or? I've started my time clock right now, so I'll stay to the. So here's a quick question, just to get you guys moving. I've got 9 minutes. And in the next 30 seconds, I'm going to ask you, how many people think that India would reach the 10 trillion mark by 2047? By a show of hands. 2047. 2047. What about 2040? What about 2035? Well, actually, the Center for the UK report recently released at the Davos predicted by 2035, India would reach a $10 trillion market economy. And that is very exciting. It's not exciting because the industries that exist in India are going to create that. It's going to be powered significantly by technology startups and entrepreneurs. Here's where I diverge from what we should be excited about by the hundreds of unicorns that India has created. Most of them are consumer-based economies, creations, unicorns. What is very important is the size of the destination market in India is still very small. In other words, entrepreneurs that create B2B ideas will not be able to get to $10, $20 million ARR serving businesses. Let's leave government out of this. Serving businesses, in India itself, it'll take a long time. So for that purpose, the destination market is very important. Israel, for instance, has 1.3 million people, and it has only one destination market, which is the global markets. They don't have a local destination market. Similarly, the China market has been a huge destination market, but is slowly moving towards a global destination market. India today sits at a cusp of what I would call the lower middle part of that quadrant, where it's sort of deciding whether to go to the global destination market or the domestic destination market. What I'm here to propose is that the entrepreneurs should look for B2B startups, first focus on the destination market, which is the global destination market. And for all practical purposes, that is the United States. It is the largest market in the world that adopts technology faster than any place on earth. And I'm basically a testament to that. I come from San Francisco, the Bay Area. I, along with 9 other entrepreneurs, we've actually created market capitalization of over $30 billion in our own startups. As investors, our investments are in excess of over $70 billion today. Having said that, we about 9 years ago predicted the next billion-dollar startups will emerge from India. This was a prediction we made about 8-9 years ago, and that's happening. Those are B2B startups. So if you're a B2B startup, what you'd want to do is build your product here, get the MVP ready, raise a little capital, and then make sure you pivot to the US, and then make sure that your success in the US allows you to grow your product teams and your teams here in India. And then eventually, once you reach a $100-200 million mark, you basically move back and then expand your market presence in India. By 2047 or 2035, actually my objective was when we get to the $10 trillion mark, India can sustain a destination market for B2B. So in other words, if you start a company now as a B2B market in 2035, you will be able to achieve $100 million ARR with selling your product to the Indian businesses, enterprises. Today, US does it. All startups in the US focus on the US, build a $100 million ARR, and then conquer the rest of the world. What I'm saying and proposing is that India has that unique opportunity. Here's a small statistic that goes further down into what Dr. Mohan Reddy was talking earlier in his first speech, welcome address. 50% of all startups, mark my words, 50% of all startups are founded, funded, or run by Indians. That's a huge, and it's only increasing. Every corporate America board is looking for CEO succession and looking for an Indian in that succession path. So you've got all the tea leaves aligning really, really well. The most important thing for entrepreneurs here today are, in order for us to accelerate India's GDP growth to the $10 trillion mark, you need to immediately pivot to the US, build your companies there, and then essentially get your product back into the US Indian enterprise market. So the message here is to get India to the $10 trillion mark. The fastest path to that is powered by technology startups and entrepreneurs like yourselves. And I notice, in a show of hands, many of you here are already entrepreneurs and or want to be entrepreneurs. And I also want to project that to the investors and the corporates here. One of the risks that the corporates refuse to take in India is to take some innovation technology into their companies and let it fail. Middle managers in America are allowed to, test out new innovation. And I've been the benefactor of some of those, where they try it out. $250,000, they try it out. If it fails, the middle managers are not fired. The point is, we will reach that stage when we get to that $10 trillion mark, where we are willing to take the risks as enterprise and corporates. So having said that, if anybody has a doubt that India's $10 trillion mark is not going to happen before 2035, and that the technology startups are not going to play in a role, I think you have to rethink that again. And with that, I'm going to give back the rest of my time for the next panel. But congratulations to the entrepreneurs. The one thing that differentiates you from anybody else is you never have a plan B. It's the passion that drives you till you succeed. And we've got in Dr. Mohan Reddy, one of the finest entrepreneurs that the state has produced. We should be all proud of it and try to emulate what he has done. And then, as far as I'm concerned, I welcome any entrepreneur that is looking to build that out in the US to look me up. I'm here. I've actually done 2 events in Bangalore and Hyderabad last week, where we basically are talking about inviting B2B startups, entrepreneurs that have come to a certain level of maturity, to come to the US, and we will guide you through that process from a platform that we call FalconX that we built. With that, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to address you. Good luck and best wishes for the rest of the organization.
Before introducing our next keynote speaker, I would like to share a tiny anecdote that happened 2 days back. It's a personal one. We ladies like to wear things like this, and I went to a pearl shop in the suburbs. And the guy had a very exquisite one, but some damage was there. I said, I'm leaving today evening. He said, I can get you another piece. In 2 hours? 1 hour mein aa jayega, madam. Rapido hai na? That's what he said. So you know who our next speaker is. He is Pavan Guntupalli, disrupted the transport sector by co-founding Rapido, India's largest bike taxi in 2015. After IIT, worked for Reliance Communications and Samsung Research, left cushy job in South Korea to create value back home, became a serial entrepreneur, clocked in $1 million ARR, awards and recognition, Forbes India 30 under 30, Fortune India 40 under 40. So, over to Pavan Guntupalli. He just seems to be freshly out of college, isn't it?
Hello guys, I guess my keynote speaker is just after lunch. It adds a lot of pressure, I guess. But anyways, good afternoon. Before I start, I would definitely like to thank the organizers of ITAP, the hosts, and definitely the government of Andhra Pradesh for having me here. In fact, Andhra Pradesh has been one of our major markets for Rapido, and Vizag has been one of our top performing since its early days. So just to come here to deliver this keynote is truly a great honor for me. As you guys know, I am Pavan and I'm one of the founders of Rapido. I hope most of you guys, almost all you guys know Rapido. In case you guys don't, then maybe my team is outside, my marketing team. I'll just talk to them. But anyways, today I would like to talk to you guys about Tier 2 cities, especially the role of Tier 2 cities in the startup ecosystem. Firstly, as a growing and increasing market, and secondly, and most importantly, as a source of innovation, the hustle and entrepreneurship that drives the startup ecosystem. So I don't know, I'm not so sure how many of you guys know, but my original roots are from Guntur itself. And I've done a lot of my schooling in Vijayawada. Of course, eventually I had to move back to Bangalore for starting up, because Bangalore had this critical mass of talent, capital and ideas all concentrated in one place. At that time, a lot of places couldn't offer that. But 10 years later, speaking in front of you, I guess that reality has changed. Today, I see a massive surge of entrepreneurship in a lot of Tier 2 cities, starting with Vizag, Vijayawada, Indore, Bhopal, Chandigarh, and even in some places that we would not have even heard of. And today, I believe starting a Rapido or a Flipkart or a PhonePe in any of these Tier 2 cities is actually possible, and not just possible, I guess now they have a great chance of outcompeting these Bangalore startups. The advantages of Tier 2 are very real, and that's a major change that just happened in the past 10 years. So at Rapido, we are currently live in 100 plus cities. Most of them are Tier 2 and Tier 3 towns. So I have had the privilege of witnessing a lot of changes firsthand. But back, I guess 7-8 years ago, when we were just starting up, while I do not like to brag, me and my co-founders were one of the initial people who started to take a bet on Tier 2 cities. Back in 2015, when we were just starting up, we decided to launch Mysore, which was a Tier 2 city in Karnataka. And when we proposed this to our investors, our board, they flat out opposed it, saying that, hey, you know what, I think we should just, after Bangalore, it should be, let's say, Mumbai or a Hyderabad or a Delhi as your next expansion city. But the reality is, as of last year, we celebrated our 7th year anniversary, and we currently do around 10 lakh rides every single day, and 35% of our business as of now comes from Tier 2 cities. And on similar lines, I still remember, as a part of our journey, when we were starting up, we were trying to set up a call center. And while we launched Mysore, we had a lot of our service partners in Bangalore itself. But for a company that is saying, hey, I want to provide the most safest and most affordable form of transportation, for us the question was, hey, how can I make my operations much better? How can I provide that affordability? How can I bring that efficiency? And we decided that we would launch a call center in Mysore. Again, as expected, a lot of people opposed straight off. But our Mysore call center was a great success, and we saved almost 40% of our costs in overheads. And fast forwarding today, we currently have 1,000 plus customer service representatives operating out of 3 call centers in these tier 2 cities. So what I'm trying to share all these anecdotal journeys just to sort of let you guys know that tier 2 actually holds a special place in Rapido's journey. With that said, I would like to focus on few of my first-hand observations. One of the things I clearly think that has changed over the past 10 years is how digitization and access to information has kind of leveled the playing or kind of flattened the playing field. Now, I think a girl who's living in Bombay and a girl who's growing in Vizag, the difference in their lives or the difference in the information that they can access is much smaller than ever before. True that both are living in different economies with different populations and different infrastructure. That's all true. But at the same time, they are also watching the same series on Hotstar, reading the same article online, and in case if they want to access any information, they are accessing the same lecture on YouTube. Their access to information, culture, and learning is much more than ever before. And we have personally seen how this changes the heart of tier 2. Because what is the heart of a city? It's its people, right? When these people are given these resources, their aspirations, they change. The way they think, they change, right? And we have clearly seen, as a part of our own journey, a number of captains. We have driver partners whom we call as captains, and via their stories, we have seen a number of such similar stories. Take for instance, there is this person from Guntur called Jagannath. He started off on Rapido doing part-time. And a number of our drivers, you do Rapido as an additional source of income. Now this guy Jagannath, he literally self-funded his MTech studies by driving on Rapido. And now he started his own business in Guntur, and it is now thriving. At the same time, I see people like Sandhya. She is also one of our captains. She is a single mother, and she is currently funding her daughter's studies, who is studying at Cambridge University. Cambridge University, isn't that amazing? Via Rapido. All this to just point out that the aspirations of tier 2 people and people living in metropolitan cities, they are literally the same. They are literally the same. And because there are certain constraints which are real that are in tier 2, I have always seen the hustle, the hard work of tier 2 people is much more than a lot of metropolitan cities. The second aspect I would like to cover is the recent reverse migration that has happened during COVID, and which sparked a cycle of talent, opportunities, and innovation. At Rapido, we have been remote since COVID. Honestly, I'm an office guy. I'm a kind of an old school guy. I like all the hustle and bustle, but my team members wanted this location flexibility. So I gave in, and when I now get to know their stories, we see that there is a significant talent movement back home. And for a lot of people, home is tier 2 and tier 3 cities itself. Right? This is what has happened as a result of this is literally powering companies to come back to tier 2, where the talent is and definitely where the most exciting market is. Every month you obviously keep hearing these decisions. Accenture is opening its offices in Coimbatore or Jaipur. TCS is making investments in Indore, and I guess Wipro already has an office in Vizag. This reverse migration, we believe, has truly sparked a cycle of job creation and employment opportunities that never existed before. And it's also supporting a trend of this growing and increasing important customer base. In 2021, 50% of the online shoppers who are based out of cities, they are from non-metros. And this number, this percentage is increasing twice as fast as the metro shoppers. I truly believe this is a staggering statistic. And when I talk to my friends, a number of these friends are founders of direct-to-consumer brands. Some are in skincare, pharma, supplements, whatever it is. A lot of people ended up saying that more than 50% of their sales is actually coming from tier 2 towns. This goes back to my point that the difference between that girl living in Bombay and the girl living in Vizag has never been less different anymore. As you guys might heard this saying, geography is now history. And I believe at this point in human history, it is true more than ever. So I feel grateful that I was able to witness a number of these changes firsthand through the work we do at Rapido, through the captains we support, through our users, through our vendors. It is undeniably clear that tier 2 is growing in talent, in opportunities, and in terms of innovation. Now, if somebody asks me, or maybe if I go back 7-8 years in the past, I don't think I needed to move. I would think that I need to move to Bangalore to start up, because I believe truly that tier 2 is the place where there is this rapid democratization of information and youth migration. And so now you have literally the talent, obviously the information to create the resources basically, and a lot of focus, the increasing customer user base. All the key ingredients to start your startup. So, and I would definitely love to support anyone in their journey that are starting out from these tier 2 cities, especially definitely Vizag and Andhra. That's it. Thanks, thank you so much all.
So thank you for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you for wonderful.
Thank you. Thanks.